Well, for many, the holiday season can be fun and festive, filled with so much joy, but for others, it can be very lonely and difficult. A survey from the American Psychological Association reveals that more than half of Americans, 61%, experience sadness or loneliness during the holidays, and 37% even wish that they could skip the season altogether. So joining me now on this Wellness Wednesday is therapist Dr. Morgan Francis with Scottsdale Premier Counseling. You know, it's so sad when you see those numbers that more than a third of people would just rather skip it altogether. Why is it during the holidays that it's so much harder?
Well, holidays are portrayed as a time of getting together with family. And we see this a lot in the media, we see this in film. And the reality is that many of us aren't able to get together with family or our support system. And so when that does happen, there's a stark contrast to that experience. And so it really deepens those feelings of loneliness for people.
You see the reminders all over the place, as you were just saying. So, you know, what are some things, I know you deal with a lot of clients, what are some things that are just making it so difficult for them right now?
Well, grief is one of the most prominent experiences I see people come in for. And it's not just grief of the death of a loved one, but also the loss of a friendship, the breakup of a relationship, or even divorce. So what people thought that their holiday was going to look like is not at all how their holiday will turn out to be. Another area is seeing a lot of stress. We have so much stress, and one of the areas is financially. And so there's a burden. And so when they're asked to come to, let's say, a white elephant gift exchange, they might not be able to budget that finances because they're getting toys, they're getting gifts, and they can't afford all these parties. So then they're not able to engage in those social activities.
Yeah, they can't even go because they just feel, you know, embarrassed.
They do.
Yeah. What about unfulfilled expectations? You mentioned that too.
So I often say comparison is the thief of joy. And so many of us will go onto social media and we'll see a picture and it looks nothing like our life. And so we feel unhappy, we feel inadequate. And so there is unfilled expectations of what we think our life should look like because it's not meeting to the standards we see on
All
social
over the
media.
place. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So let's talk about ways to cope. The first thing you say is acknowledge feelings. What do you mean by that?
Well, it's okay to feel lonely. If that is your reality, it's best to just name it, because once we can name the emotion or the experience, that allows us to be able to do something about it and empowers us. So I often say to people, emotional recognition is the key or one of the first steps in creating change. Another thing is to connect in small ways. And those small ways can be a phone call, can be a walk with a friend.
A text?
Yes, exactly. Making it work for your budget and for your lifestyle. One of my favorites during this holiday time is volunteering.
Oh, I love yes.
It's a way to connect and create purpose again in your life. So that is especially important during this time of year.
Yeah, and I like to also encourage family members to volunteer too.
Get your kids involved.
Exactly. Start young, teach them, you know, how important it is to give back. You also say, and I love this one, create new traditions. What do you mean by that?
So I was just talking with someone the other day and she was just feeling really lonely. And so I said, why don't you do something different that you've never done before? It gave her something to look forward to, created excitement, adventure. You get to choose, you get to shift your focus and create the magic that you want this holiday season. And that feels really good for people.
Yeah, something new, something exciting.
Yeah.
Finally, you say seek support.
Absolutely. You know, reach out to that trusted friend. Look for a therapist. This is the time of year where therapists, we know it's our busiest season. So we are ready to help anyone that's going through a tough time, and or go to a support group. There are so many ones you can drop in on at your local church or in the community.
All right, great advice, Dr. Morgan Francis. We so appreciate your time. Happy holidays.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you, thank you. All right, coming up tomorrow on 12 News at 4, legal expert Hector Diaz is